All right. So we are studying the book of Yona, and we are in the first chapter on the ninth verse. And the story, as you all know it, that Yona was instructed by God to go to Nineveh, the largest city in the world at the time, in Iraq, very close to Mosul of nowadays. And because they were essentially good people, except that they decided to start stealing from each other and lost their ways. They were told that they're going to be destroyed, and so he was instructed to go there. But he felt, Yonah felt, that it's going to reflect badly on the Jewish people, because if the non-Jews are going to listen to God right away and will do tshuva and will repent, how come it doesn't work so well with us? And that will reflect badly on us. And he also knew that those people are destined to actually capture the land of Israel and destroy the Bet HaMikdash. So he really wasn't playing ball. He was trying to avert what he thought is a disaster for the Jewish people. And therefore he ran away. He hired a boat with 70 sailors, and they sailed away to Tarshish, to somewhere else, to another place. So right away God is not wasn't happy with that arrangement. So he started a big storm in the sea, and we are now at the point where the sailors of the ship are trying to figure out who is causing them that trouble, because they saw from afar that the sea is not really supposed to be stormy. It's not like a storm that the whole area, the whole Mediterranean is going crazy. It's just their specific boat was targeted. And it didn't make sense. It looked very, super or a natural. So they threw a lottery. They all prayed to their gods, 70 gods, different gods, and they threw a lottery, and all of the lotteries came pointing to Yonah as the person that because of him we have this problem. No, so that's. So they start interrogating him. Who are you? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? What did you do? What did you not do? Are you a criminal? Are you running away? What's going on here? And also the fact that he was not really praying, or was not really asking. Most people, are afraid more in the sea than on land, because on land we are familiar with what's happening. So if there is a storm on land, it's usually not something that people are afraid of. But on sea, normal people, when they see storm, they don't feel good about it. They're afraid. And here you have a guy that completely ignored all of that. He went to sleep on the bottom of the boat, and that didn't make one bit of a sense. So what's going on here? So they interrogated him. So that's where we are now. So he's answering them. He is answering them on verse 9. Vayomer aleem ivri anochi. I am a Hebrew. And Vet Hashem Elokei Hashamayim ani yareh. And I am fearful of God, the God of the heavens. And he did Asher Asa et Hayam v'et Habasha. He made the sea and the land. Very strange answer. I mean, what exactly is he saying here? So let's take this apart. There are a lot of commentaries on this verse. And let's first of all, what is Ivri? Ivri is Hebrew, right? We know that's Abraham. He is the one that was Hebrew, right? He was Hebrew. Is from Ivri, from the other side, me'ever lanav, from the other side of the river, from the other side of the Tigris River, right? So that's why Abraham was called Ivri. But here he wanted. There are two explanations. Number one, Ivri is also known the sons of Adam were Shem and Ever, right? And Ever had a yeshiva, was a scholar, was a religious scholar, he was the one that a lot of people followed, and Abraham's family followed him as well. So it's called Ivri. There is another explanation that Ivri means Avarian. Avarian means a criminal in Hebrew. Ivri, Avarian sounds the same letters, right? So he's telling them that he is Hebrew, that he is from the, following the God of the Jews, but he's also a criminal. He himself is a criminal. And by saying that he is following the God of the Jews, the God of all gods, he's trying to tell them that he's not really criminal. He didn't do. It's not that he did something really wrong in their eyes. He did something wrong in God's eyes. He didn't steal. He didn't kill. He didn't do anything. Finagle something. He did something which is bad in the eyes of God. Now he's mentioning here that God is a Lokei Hashamayim, is the God of the heavens, and he's not saying the God of earth. He's saying God of heavens. Why is he saying God of heavens? Because according to what he was thinking originally, he left the land of Israel, where God is in a revealed way the God of earth. He left the land of Israel, so God is not going to be revealed to him, and is sort of not going to be able to communicate with him and tell him, no, you have to go to where I told you to go. So he's just mentioning that God is the God of the heavens. Okay. He also starting to internalize himself what's going on here and say, well, God made the sea. We are having a problem with the sea right now, right? There is a big storm. So I'm really the one that's in trouble here, because I'm following the God that's made the sea. All of your gods didn't really make the sea, and all of your gods can't really influence the sea all that much. But I am, I'm following the God that made the sea and the land, and it's and he's in charge. So it seems that it's on me that things are bad here. And he's starting to realize that he maybe ran away for nothing. That he thought that he's going to go out of the land of Israel, he's going to go to the sea, and in the sea, on the sea, when you're on the sea, is not likely that God is going to be revealed to you. And suddenly God found a way to reveal himself in a very amazing way to everybody on the ship. So he himself is starting to have second thoughts. So that's what he answered them here. So now, vayiru anashim yira gdola. So they started. They were terrified. Now, please note here that before they were called the sailors, and now they're called the people. Okay, when in the Tanakh you call someone people, you mean that they're like a mensch, like they're the people, the real people. They have substance to them. They're not just creatures. Okay, they're not just the sailors. They're real people. And from here we see a movement that describes how all of the people in the ship basically repented, and they basically converted to Judaism, seeing all these they were awestruck by the amazingness of what they saw, and we'll see slowly we'll reveal all of the miracles that they saw one after the other. So in the beginning they were fearful for their lives, so they prayed to their gods, right? Each one prayed to his god. Now they have yira gdola, a big fear, a super duper fear, which is more of a fear, more of an awe type of a fear. They basically were in awe as to what's going on here. ויאמרו אליו, מה זאת עשית? So they realized that he did something, you know, and כי ידעו אנשים כי מלפני השם הוא בורח, because they then internalized, they realized, they knew that he's running away from God because he told them. Very, very convoluted way of saying something. I told them, he told them that he ran away. They knew because he told them because they knew, and what did you do? So the commentaries are saying that basically realized that something terrible is happening here. They didn't know how to handle it, but they knew that they need to handle it. And they slowly started piecing the information together as to what's going on here from what he told them before. He told them when he came to the ship, he said, I want to hire the entire ship because I need to go to Tarshish. I need to go away from here. So they right away started thinking, what was going on here? He is a wealthy person because he hired the entire boat. Okay? He is a pious person because he is a man of God. And he's also some sort of a criminal because God wants to, to do him harm. So what is going on here? So, so they're telling them, what have you done? If you're telling us that God is the God of heaven and earth and the sea, He's in charge. So what are you running away? And at that point, they felt that because everybody knows that God, if you believe in God, any God can take revenge of people, right? Can take care of them. So if God wanted to kill Yona, he could have done it with a quick heart attack. It's very easy. Why does he need to take a whole boat with 70 people and drive them through crazy storm? That means that they need to do something. That's what they started realizing. Maybe we need to do something here. Because you're a strange guy. On the one hand, you're holy. On the other hand, you're criminal. And we caught in the middle here. So what do we need to do? So what did you do? And what? So vayomru elav. So then they said, what should we do to you? And so we can quiet down the sea. Okay, the sea is obviously when there is a storm, there is a lot of noise, and the sea is is becoming more and more restless. Ki hayam olech v'soer. It's the waves are growing. What should we do? Because they started feeling that they now did something wrong because they were the ones that were hired by this individual to run away. So they were trying, and later we will see, they were trying to fix what they're supposed to do, Maybe we're doing something wrong. They were actually, later we'll see, they tried to turn the boat back and to take him to Nineveh. If you were running away because you're supposed to go to Nineveh to give them a message and you're not, okay, maybe it's our job now to take you to Nineveh. And they would try, in a couple of verses, we'll see, they would try to row their way back to the beach, to the shore, so they can take him. They say they will take him in handcuffs, with shackles. They'll take him to Nineveh so he can deliver the message. And that's what they meant to do, but the sea was not cooperating. The sea usually, if anybody was on the beach lately and saw the wave was coming from the sea to the shore. That's the normal way. And here they were trying to row towards the land, and the sea would take them away into the depth. So he's telling them, this is what you should do. Vayomer alehem sauni v'atiluni layam. So you carry me and you throw me into the sea. V'ishtok hayam alechem. And that what will quiet the sea from you. Ki yodea ani ki b'sheli asar hagadol hazeh alechem. Because I know that I am the cause. I am the reason that you are in this trouble. Okay, this is on my account. So he said, pick me up and throw me overboard. Now, so if you want to throw yourself overboard, it's very easy. You just walk over and you throw yourself overboard. That's very why do you need to ask them to do it? So the point is that he knew, Yona is a pious person. He knew that committing suicide is not an option. Now, if they will end up throwing him overboard, okay, so he knows that that's what God had in store for him. But he is not allowed to do it himself, okay? But he knew that he is the one that was destined to send the message, to deliver the message to Nineveh. And if he's not going to send the message to Nineveh, all likelihood, the message is not going to get there. And therefore, they're not going to repent, and therefore the Jewish people will be saved. That was his way of thinking at the moment. So he said, throw me into the sea. What do the people of the boat do? And we see again, the people are really becoming very, very, very pious. And anybody who has, I guess, in a big storm is doing tshuva very quickly. And so that's what happened with them, I guess, except that we will see later they became holy people for real. But anyway, it's a collection of people that ended up on this boat that they were all, real people. So they take him and they put him down in the water up to his knees. And suddenly the water stops, the storm stops. So they pick him up. The storm starts again, stronger. So they put him down back into the water up to his waistline. The storm stopped, the water stops, it's all calm. So they took him back up. So, and the water started again, the storm started again, fiercer than before. So they put him again, now up to his neck. And again the storm stopped. Finally, after several tries like that, they eventually threw him into the water. But the point is that he told them that you can try it. Try it. Put me into the water. Carry me into the water. And then throw me in there. He told them, he gave them a hint that they can see that it's really him that is causing this whole trouble. Now, those people did not want to have a blood of a person on their hand, even though he's a Jew boy, and he very, now it's not hard to find someone who would want to get rid of someone like that, right? And they did not want it. They did not want to have someone's blood on their hands. So what do they try to do? As we said before, vayahteru anashim. So they first of all were thinking all the time, what can I do? And then they started drawing, because with the sail there was the wind did not cooperate. So they took all of the oars and they tried to row in order to reach shore. And but they couldn't make it happen because the sea did not cooperate. So what do they do? Vaikreu el Hashem. So before they were praying to their gods, to all of the the idols that they have, and now after they saw that this guy is really connected to the God of gods, and this guy is really a holy man. And if they put him in the water, it's the sea stops. So they said, what? Let's talk to your God. Let's see what he says. So they called to God. V'yomru Ana Hashem, please God. Al nanovda benefesh haish hazeh. We don't want to be lost. We don't want to have the fault to be faulted for losing the soul of this man. Ve'al titen aleinu dam naki, and don't make us in charge of this, or don't count it on our account this clean blood of this person who didn't do that, didn't do anything to us. Ki ata Hashem kasher chafatz Hashem, because you're the God, right? You can do whatever you want. Don't get us involved. if you're so mighty that you can turn the sea upside down, take this man and do whatever the heck you want with him. There is so here we see, this is the verse that the rabbis are saying indicates that they really did tshuva, and they decided to all convert to Judaism. They say in this pasuk the verse God 3 times, 1, 2, right? V'amru Hashem, v'amru ana Hashem, ki ata Hashem. So they said the three times the name of God, which is the equivalent of God was, is, and will be. Haya v'viyeh, right? That's so they were really doing tshuva in the most beautiful way, and came back to the came to realize that they should be praying to God. Now, the word naki here is very interesting. The word naki is the numerical value of it is 161. Okay, and that is exactly the numerical value of the name of God, which is the hidden name of God. There is whatever. I'm not going to go into the exact calculation of the numbers, but God has many names. And one of the names is that is, if you write it a certain way, if you count it a certain way, it comes to the same numerical value. You have the name of God which is revealed, and the name of God which is hidden. What happens is, someone can do the right thing. They can do the right thing, but nobody knows about it. Only between them and God. So they did Kiddush Hashem, they sanctified the name of God, but it's a secret, So you did something very, very amazing, but it's in the comfort of your home. Nobody knew. And nobody knows, nobody will know. We had several of those. Yosef, for example, the Yosef HaTzadik, he withstood a very terrible test, and that's why God added another letter to his name, because he did sanctify the name of God, but he didn't do it in public. He did it, amongst a couple of people only. And here, if they're going to throw him overboard, and the sea is going to stop, there will be sanctification of God. You'll see who's in charge, but nobody will know about it. It's a group of people, 70 people, but it's a group of people, and nobody besides them will know. They say, why don't you let us get him to shore and get him to deliver the message, and then there will be, the biggest city in the world, all is going to repent, and all is going to come back to the ways of God, the way they should be. That will be a sanctification of God in public. So might as well, even for your sake, God, let's deliver this guy. Let's not kill him here. If you want to kill him, you can kill him, do whatever you want. But as far as we're concerned, we have a good idea, Let us force him to go back and deliver your message. That's what they're saying. So then the Vaisuit Yona vayatilu el hayam vayamod hayam mizapo. So they took him, and as we said, they dunked him a couple of times, a few times a little more, and they ended up throwing him overboard, and the sea stopped. Now some people say that they didn't just throw him overboard. They gave him, they put him, even Titanic had one, rescue boat for one they had, right? So they had a rescue boat as well, and they sent him with a boat. They sent him with some ways of saving himself if he wants to. That's what they do, because they really didn't want to kill the man. Now, I wanted now, from the perspective of Yona, we mentioned last time that there is if a prophet is not delivering the message that God is telling him. God gave him a message, and they came to the people. The person came to the people and did not deliver the message. It's called kovesh nevuato. They're holding down or holding back from delivering a nevuah, delivering a prophecy to the people. So the halacha is that person is supposed to die. Based in the Sanhedrin is sentencing them to death in chenek, in choking. Now, chenek is also something that can be achieved with water. When someone is throwing into the water, they can't breathe, so they're choking to death, right? So, from his perspective, Yonah, he felt that he was given a message to deliver, a prophecy to deliver. He is not doing it, so therefore he is obligated to die with choking, and falling down the sea fulfills that. So voila, let's just do that. That's from his perspective. Another interesting point is, at that time, the largest city in the world, as we said, was Nineveh. That city was under the jurisdiction of the king of Egypt, Pharaoh. The king of Egypt, Pharaoh, I don't know if it was the original Pharaoh or a couple of pharaohs afterwards, but it was a Pharaoh. And Pharaoh, at the time of the crossing of the sea, when the Jews came out of Egypt and we crossed the sea, right, the splitting of the sea, all of the soldiers, the Egyptian soldiers, and all of the Egyptian soldiers fell into the sea, right? They were drowned. The only one that didn't drown was Pharaoh himself. Pharaoh himself was standing on the banks of the Red Sea, and they saw what happened, and he was taught a lesson. So he was really, he had a death sentence coming to him because of everything he did to the Jews at the time when we were in Egypt, right? But he was spared. That sentence was afterwards turned into the biggest city in the world, which was under his jurisdiction or his predecessor, the king that came after him, jurisdiction, and that's the city of Nineveh. What happened to Nineveh, right now when we were talking about Yonah, they were spared, but they were spared, as we mentioned, only for 40 years. 40 years later, their end did come, and they did receive what's coming to them, and the whole city, the biggest city in the world, came underwater, under the Tigris River, because they built on that's not the reason. The reason is because God wanted to get rid of them, and finally deliver to the king, to Pharaoh, the king, his sentence of being underwater. But the point is that it came about by them overbuilding on the banks of the Tigris River and creating dams that are too small for the job, similar to what's been happening in China. If you heard about the dams in China, it's just overcame the dam. The water came and took the dam and took the entire city, which was on the banks of the river. So a few feet. The water went up a few feet and the whole city is submerged. So that's how the city ended up, being wiped out. And that's how that King Pharaoh of that time received the suspended sentence of the original Pharaoh of the time of coming out of Egypt. But before the water submerged the city and submerged Pharaoh and all of that, now the water is submerging Yonah, because Yonah is the one that's supposed to avert that problem. So you're not averting the problem of submerging them, submerging Nineveh. So you yourself are going to be, you're going to be in the water. So that's the reason why he ended up in the water. Now, I wanted to pause for a second, and before we finish chapter 2, I wanted to read to you something very, very interesting that has to do with what's going on here from the Yerushalmi Talmud. Okay? The Yerushalmi Talmud, Jerusalem Talmud, in Tractate Trumot, there is a story. There is here, the way they do it is in a stupid way, so you can see the Hebrew and English at the same time. I'll just read it and I'll translate it. So there was a group of people that was walking on the road, in the middle. They were going from one place to another, And a group of Gentiles caught them and told them, give us one of you and we're going to kill him. And if you don't give us one of you to kill, we're going to kill you all. Sound very familiar, happened several times in history. So the ruling is, the halacha is, the rule is, the Jewish law is, that if someone is telling you, you should give one of you to be killed, or we're going to kill you all, they should all get killed, and they should not give one person to be killed. However, if those hoodlums, the thugs, are telling them, give us this person, and they naming the person, and that person is a criminal, like Sheva ben Bichri is a criminal, is a person who really did something very terrible. They're mentioning here a name of a guy who was rebelling against King David, and actually he earned the right to die. Okay, he was sentenced to death by the king. So if you have such a person that says, give us this person, this specific person, and that person we know is really someone who has a death sentence on their head, you can give it to him, and they should not die for him. So that is one opinion. So Resh Lakish, Rab Shimon ben Lakish says, this is only, is sort of stressing that at this point, they should only do it if that person is really have a death sentence. And Rabbi Yochanan disagree and says, even if he's not, even if the person is not obligated, if they if the group of thugs are surrounding the people and they have guns and they can kill them and say, listen, we're going to shoot you all, or you should give us so and so, they have to give them so and so. If they tell them just like that, just give us one, they're not allowed. But if they name the person, they allow. That is the halacha. That's the halacha according to Rabbi Yochanan. That's the halacha. Now there is a story. The story is that a Ula Bar Kushav, a gentleman by the name of Ula Bar Kushav, the king was looking after him. The government was looking to take him to kill him, to punish him. So he ran away to the city of Lud, where the airport is, right? And he was staying with the Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi was one of the leaders of the generations at the time, and he was staying with him. So the government forces surrounded that area, and they said, you better give us this person, Ula, that we're looking for, or we are going to destroy your entire city. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi went to that Ula guy and talked to him and told him, listen, you're going to give yourself up, or let us give you, because otherwise we're all going to die. So I guess he agreed, and they gave Ula to the government forces, and the government forces took Ula and left the city alone. Ula did not survive for a long time, but that's not being told here, that we know. Now, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, the leader of the Jewish people in Lud at the time, the rabbi of the city, he used to have a regular meetings with Eliyahu Navi. Right, Eliyahu Navi is revealing himself to pious people, revealing himself to people who deserves it, and teach them Torah and answer their questions. It's a thing. And after this event where Yeshua ben Levi talked this Ula guy into giving him to the government forces, and he gave him to the government forces, Eliyahu didn't show up anymore. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi was distraught. He didn't know why. So he fasted for several days, and he was praying, please, come reveal yourself, because, we've been having, we had a good run. What's going on? What happened? So Rabbi Eliyahu revealed himself and told him, how come you gave him up? So he told him, but this is the law. This I did according to the Jewish law. He says, yeah, but there is above and beyond. There is the dry Jewish law, and there is above and beyond. And above and beyond, you should not be giving away someone of, even if they're coming to a group and say, give us so and so, you should not be giving it away. Why am I telling you all of that? I'm telling you all of that is because of what happened in the sea. What happened in the sea is all the indications were that it's Yona's fault. And all the indications were that if they throw him into the water, he should be, that's what they were supposed to do, to just throw him into the water, and the problem will go away. And the question is, according to Jewish halakha, are you allowed to do it? Now, they were not Jews at the time, but they became, as we will see in a second, they became. And the question is, are you allowed to do something like that? So the Jewish halakha is that if it's a specific person that's being called by name, and that person is sort of a dead man walking, they have a death sentence on their head, you can do it, but it's still not the right way. It's better not. So that's why the people of the boat were trying as much as they can. They were trying and trying not to throw Yonah overboard because they felt that it's not the right thing to do. Now there is those who are making the equivalence between Yonah and that Ula guy that the government forces were looking for it. So, but it's not really the same, because this Ula guy was actually killed by the king, okay? And Yonah was just thrown into the, was thrown into the water, and he would be for sure death. But Ula may have not, maybe he can convince the king not to kill him. So it's not exactly a similar situation all the way. But anyway, it's a discussion in the commentaries. We should not find ourselves in this quandary ever, and we should not find ourselves in a problem where we need to give one of our own, or God forbid, in this kind of a situation. Anyway, Vayihu anashim ira gdola. So again, et Hashem. So now, before first they were praying to their gods. Then they were fearful. That's why they were praying to their God. Then they had a ira of awe. They were awestruck by the events. And now they say they were awestruck by God. And then they donated. They sacrificed. It says here that they sacrificed. I mean, it's a little bit problematic. What do you mean sacrifice? They didn't have cattle in the sheep. What are you sacrificing? How are you making fire in the ship to sacrifice? It doesn't sound like it's possible. So the commentaries are saying is that when someone is promising to do something, it's as if they did it. So that's why when you're sitting in shul, you're sitting in you're pledging a gift, it's already considered that you did it. Of course, you need to do it. God obviously sees what's in your heart. So if you can say I will, and you meant I won't, and you didn't, it's obvious. God knows that. But if you really mean it, even though you're delivering it, after Shabbos, or delivering it later on, it's still considered a donation. So this is what they did. They say that they promised that they're gonna sacrifice. So they're gonna sacrifice an actual animal, or they sacrifice their lives by converting, or they're gonna make sure to bring their families along with them. And vaidru nedarim, and they added the additional promises to gift, and and another additional gifts to give, another vows. What some rabbis are saying is that one of the reasons that Yonah actually ended up in the in that boat with those people is in order to get them to convert, because we mentioned in the very beginning, the first discussion, first session about Yona, that Yona was, at least from his father's side, was from the tribe of Zvulun. And the tribe of Zvulun were the tradesmen. They were the sailors. They were they were manning the seaports, and they were the ones who were interacting with all of the sailors that would dock at the land of Israel, bring all kinds of merchandise. And one of the things that they did is they made sure to, when a sailor comes in and says, so where should I go on my day off? He said, why don't you go to Jerusalem to see our, holy temple? It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful site. You have the holy God over there. I mean, it's a sight to be seen. And they would send groups of people from the boats to travel to Jerusalem from Yaffo to visit Jerusalem and to visit the temple. And they caused a lot of people to come back to realize that maybe the Jewish faith is really the way to be, the way to go, and they brought a lot of converts. And so the commentaries are saying that this is essentially what Yona accomplished here with this round trip on the boat. And that all those people became very, very pious and very, very special. So we have Yona in the sea right now, and next we're going to talk about not one fish, two fish that actually swallowed him and had him in their stomach, and it's a whole discussion what he did over there. But I think we're going to do it next time. So. That's it's the rabbi here. I don't know if the rabbi is here. I don't know if he's coming, but it's I think it's time. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dor.